Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Next, the podcast where we discuss everything you need to know about franchising and business ownership. And today we got a good one, and that is how can an election affect franchises?
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
All right, so let's start with the basics. Why should somebody in franchising, either an existing franchise or prospective franchisee, pay attention to the elections? What do you think, Stacy?
Well, elections are actually very important for you to think about if you want to invest in a franchise. Look, we have a new administration coming in, and there's three core areas that you should pay attention to. One are economic policies. How might those impact taxes? How small business owners get treated, or even what the labor laws might be. A second area to pay attention to is the regulatory environment. For example, might there be changes in minimum wage, how independent contractors are treated, and something called the FDD. The new administration might put new rules or requirements or minimize those requirements related to the FDD. The third area revolves around consumer confidence, because ultimately you need customers and clients and patients who are going to pay you. So how are they feeling with the new with the election results and the new administration coming in? Are they going to be spending, or are they going to cut back? We've seen a lot of changes happen in key industries like fast food, retail, and service sectors.
Right. So definitely you can expect some change anytime there's an election, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Can you give our listeners maybe an example of in the past how an election has changed the landscape for franchises after that?
Yeah, a great example would be, think back to the Affordable Care Act. When this passed, franchises had to scramble and think about how they would be able to abide by these new laws. It was based on how many employees you had, and those who met the requirements had to make sure that they were following the regulations and offering health insurance to their employees. And this obviously had a big impact on a big sector of franchising, which is the quick serve sector of restaurants. So you got to really think about how these laws impact you as a business owner.
Right. You should definitely be paying attention, particularly early on in a new administration. Like, what is the trend in the new policies that are going to be implemented? And the next thing and those are great points, by the way. Thank you for sharing those. I mean, somebody that's thinking about franchising, what advice would you give to someone that's thinking about franchises during or just after an election has occurred?
Right. They're probably biting their nails saying, oh, there's too much change and chaos happening. I'm not going to do anything. But Dave and I can assure you that this is actually a really great time to get into franchising. There are always industries that are going to be resilient regardless of the economic situation. Like?
Well, let's think about your four-legged friends, right? Your pets, senior care, home services to a great degree. You're going to need to have repairs done on your home no matter what the economy is doing. So those are just some of them. There are obviously a lot of other ones like tax preparation, so on and so forth,
right.
that fall into the category of economic, I won't say recession proof, but can weather storms in tough economic times.
They are resilient.
Right,
yes.
Right.
Another thing to factor in, though, is the other side of it. So in regard to borrowing money, the cost of borrowing that money might go up as interest rates increase, right? So that has an impact on what administration is in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Economically, when a new administration comes in, they have economic ideas in a lot of cases that are very different from the previous administration that can impact the monetary policies in our country. And you could see rates go up, you could see rates go down. Either way, that's probably going to have some type of an impact on any businesses, not just franchises. So this all, is great information about, what happens during the time of the election. So what happens after the election? I mean, after an administration has been in there for a little bit, what should franchise owners and potential franchisees be doing in the months, several months after an election has occurred? What do you think?
Well, look, you have to run your business. Obviously, you want to abide by the rules and the regulations that are in place, but this is a benefit of a franchise. So reach out to your franchisor. Ask them how they've gone through past economic cycles and how they're going to support you if there are some new rules or regulations that might be passed that could impact you either positively or negatively.
Yeah, and that's a great point in that, one of the reasons that a lot of people gravitate towards franchises is they're a proven system and they've been through these economic ups and downs and they know how to react to them and give you information to help you be successful in times of uncertainty. We'll just call it uncertainty because we really don't know what's going to happen, right? And they've been through some of these times of uncertainty. If you're out there on your own, you're on your own.
Right.
And we know all about that. All right. Great conversation. Very, very insightful information here. What are some last pieces of advice you might give to a potential franchisee or existing franchisees regarding upcoming or the current election that's just occurred?
Yeah. Don't let fear hold you back. Whether you love or hate the incoming administration, the reality is we all have to move on with our lives. As Dave said, franchising always does well. It is resilient. It's not going away. And isn't it better to be part of a strong system and a brand that's going to support you and can help you through any kind of challenges that you might face versus trying to do it on your own? But always keep your radar out there. Understand what might be happening with the new administration coming in and how it would impact you as a business owner. And then be resilient and adaptable, and you will get through it just fine.
Awesome. Great information. Great topic. Thank you so much for listening in today. If you like our content, please, click all the buttons below, like, subscribe, those kind of things. Helps us truly in the algorithm. Also helps us want to bring you more content like this. We thank you for joining us on another episode of What's Your Next. We'll catch you on the next one.